Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Amasid and today we have a double corrupt buffet, a double corrupt smorgasbord, courtesy of Hallohihi. Thank you again so much for providing all these items for this video. This is going to be a really interesting one. We're running a bunch of different double corrupts today. Let's walk through what we're doing. So first we have 5 gems, which are somewhat additive, right? Because they're on top of the locus of corruption. So we have 2 2020 anomalous ice spears and 3 2020 phantasmal spectral shield throws. We'll walk through all the costs of all these in a moment, just to give you an idea though. We have 7 dark ray vectors with the damage pen mod. So that's pretty cool. Those are nice ones. Great for, at least for a raider, they're fantastic. We have 5 Cospris with the LE damage, enchant. So those are nice. We have, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Prism Guardians, ripe for double corrupting. And then the absolute peak of this is 3 Replica Farrul'S. Now these are at a minimum 50x each. Now let's walk through the costs here of what we're working with. Now, I would say these might even be more like 55, but that's roughly what they're going for, about 50 to 55 to even closer to 60. There's not very many of these 6 linked out there. So we have the temples, which are 1.5x each. The gems were on average about 10x each. Darkrays with that enchant go for 2x. Cospris are about a third of an X with that enchant. Prism Guardians alone are just uncorrupted about an Exalt. And then Replica Farrul'S fur, you can see here, 55x. That's about right with this. 80. I don't think it's going to be quite that much, but it might be. Dubious though. So I'll call it about 55x. I think that's about a reasonable guess. There's just not many of them out there. So the number to beat is 278x. Again, at this point in the league, really hard to resell a lot of this stuff. But let's see if we can't hit a cool item. That's always the goal. Can we hit something really cool and interesting? So without further ado, let's hop in the double corrupting and see if we can't hit something very, very fun. Alrighty, everyone, we are back. Now, taking a look at the results here. Apologies in advance for the flashbang. So, we had 6 rares and 8 poofs total. So, that's 14 just bricks in general. So, those are gone off the board just across all these 30 combined items. SST and Ice Spear total about 66x. SST, the only real thing of note here is the 23% quality. So, that's about 10x on average for these still. They'll just resell more or less what they're going for. These are about 12. These are closer to 9. So, you can do the math there. It's about average. Anomalous Ice Spear, we hit 2020, which is nothing, so that sells for about 6. Then we did a 21-23, which is very cool, but unfortunately the 23% doesn't really do anything for Anomalous Ice Spear because it's just projectiles pierce X targets, and the 23% doesn't get us to an additional target number. So the 21, it's about 30x for a 21, so that's where the 36x comes from there. Darkrays, we bricked 4, or poofed them, and we had this one here. These were 2 white sockets. These will sell for about 2 to 3x. Then we had Duration, similar situation. It's pretty cool, but it's Hunter. That's kind of a neat little thing to add on. Also about 2 to 3x. So the average, I put it at about 8x for those 3 back. Cospri's, we lost all of them except for one, and the one was additional proj and crit chance, which is pretty sick. Now, the only one that I could find with the crit chance and the proj was selling. There's actually one live right now. It's 20x. It didn't have the enchant, so I'd say between 15 and 25x is reasonable for this. Again, assuming it sells. Take all these prices with a grain of salt. At this point in the league, stuff is selling slow, if at all, right? So, cool one. Very, very cool Cospris for sure. If we were just doing Cospris, we would have been set. That's for sure. Okay, looking at Prism Guardian, we hit 5 things that did not brick or poof, and this one's white sockets. That's useful. That's cool for sure. About 2 to 3x there. Then we've got this one here. Unfortunately, the projectile gems doesn't really do anything for us, but the damage taken from projectile helps, so 1 to 2x there. These are all very defensive Prism Guardians. Nothing, no aura gems, no AoE gems, etc. So I'd say about 2x on average. That puts us at about, where are we? Sorry, 10x for the Prism Guardians total. Give or take 2x on average, I would say is reasonable for these. Now, looking at the Farrul'S, there's a bit of a question mark with these Farrul'S. We did hit the 6 white sockets, which has value, for sure. It has value. I'd estimate this at about 55 to 60x, maybe at the minimum break even, right? It can't be worse. So that's pretty cool. Then looking at this guy here, very interesting. Now, most of the builds that are using Farrul'S are Flicker Strike builds, and they're socketing Vortex and stuff in there. So the projectile gems doesn't really do anything if you're running that one. But if you are running something like Flicker Strike, excuse me, not Flicker Strike, if you're running something like SST with Replica Farrul'S, which very few people are, but they are, this is a huge, huge win for that build. So at this point in the league, I don't know. This is so niche that I don't know if people are going to be buying it, but it's a very, very cool item for sure, which again is always our goal here. It is to hit cool items. This might be worth a ton. I mean, at the minimum, right, it's not worth any less than 55x that we originally priced it at, but it might be huge, huge, huge. It might be just the normal, unclear. It's so niche. Just to give you an idea here, if you go back and you look at, these are the only things that are showing up in terms of Spectral Shield Throw and Replica Farrul'S. The rest of them, it's really a lot of Flicker Strike, Lightning Strike, things that are not really going to benefit as much from the projectiles. SST would be the next big one, and there's very few. So unclear. It might be worth a ton. I mean, if it was Lionized, it's huge, huge, huge money. But either way, very, very nice. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of like buffet of double corrupts to, I think, end my double corrupts for the league. And I will catch you guys in the next one.